Thanks, Alyssa. Here's Channel 11 News anchor Jennifer Abney with today's Talking Pittsburgh.
Good morning to you, and thanks for joining us today for Talking Pittsburgh. My guests today, Lee Montanari and Steve Halavanja. They're with the community cycle of Aliquippa, and this is such an interesting program. We met at a fundraiser quite some time back, and I was so interested in what you're doing and why you're doing it. Just give me a little idea of what community cycle is.
Okay. Community Cycle is a program where we have a storefront in Aliquippa that's been donated to us, and we collect used bikes that people donate to us or parts of bikes, and we do repairs for people that come in, and we have a way that people can earn a bike by simply volunteering back into the community in the Aliquippa area through one of the churches or any of the other charitables that work in the Aliquippa area.
And I love this because you also use this as a way, you said, to kind of as a mission ground of sorts.
Right. Yeah, this is actually an outgrowth of a mission we do in Aliquippa every year. This is our 4th year. We'll go into Aliquippa for a week and we'll do a construction project, and this one started as a result of we were building a handicap ramp for an elderly lady who needed one in her trailer, and one of her grandsons came over and said, "Hey, my bike is broken. You guys have tools. Can you help me fix my bike?" And this whole thing has grown up over the past couple of years into now we're talking about maybe even collecting bikes and sending them to some churches down in Honduras.
A little mustard seed. Let's give us a mustard seed out of this. And so I love the fact too that this is also an opportunity. You mentioned that kids don't have to come in with money. They can come in with time and get something that's almost like a rite of passage in the summer for kids.
It is. In some cases, the parents or the grandparents that come in like it because it's a way to work with the child to show that they're working towards something. If a child comes in and says that they want to work with the program and do a bike, the first thing we do is sit down. We explain the program to the adult that comes in with them, and we allow them to pick and select and tag their bike right there that evening, and we put a card on it that's reserved for them, and they're starting to work towards it. A lot of them we leave needing some repairs. So that the kids start right in having an ownership to it. It may need the tires repaired or the gears, and we'll start working with them there, and then when they leave at night they can come in the next day and say, "That's my bike that I'm working towards," and it's tagged, and we set it aside for them.
And they're also learning some skills too, and I know you also brought some photos with you of some of the kids and some of the programs that you've worked with. Tell me about this young person.
This young person, this is Trey, and this is the individual that Steve talked about that's the first one. So he was the one, and he'll come to us, or he'll talk to people that come in the door and say, "I'm the one that started this." And when someone comes to visit, he comes and grabs one of the flyers. He'll take it right to them, and he's down every time we're open now. He lives up the hill. He is.
So this is, I guess, the storefront and the sidewalk area that we were just looking at outside the store.
Yeah, this is a picture just from last Saturday. Actually, the bike that I'm holding on the right came in. The lady standing next to me brought it in and was coming to the shop for a couple weeks, and the other folks there, some of them just came that very day saying, "I want to come down here, I want to work on bikes," and we started getting into conversations about schools, and they started talking about how the other kids were and how they really didn't want to get into the drug scene, that sort of thing, and it gives us the opportunity to build that relationship, to talk to them. I got to talk to those boys for a couple hours on a Saturday morning, and we talked about how to use tools, fixing the bikes. We talked about what Aliquippa was like in 50 years ago, what the towns were like, and looking at it now, and how, and he said, "Boy, when I grow up, I want to be an architect. I want to help see these old towns get rebuilt and not be the places that you see on the 11 o'clock news with all the other things going on." And you have that kind of conversation, and you talk about the weather. We were talking about anything. Martin Luther King, John Kennedy, we talked about Jesus, and it just, you talk about anything. Yeah, and you just build that relationship with people. It's great.
And where do you hope this will be, fast forward a year, 2 years from now?
This is, it's interesting. We get that question, and we honestly try to defer that some cases, because if we would have tried to predict 2 years ago where this has been now, this is not the model we would have seen. But we simply want to continue to make more of a difference in people's lives. We want to continue to build relationships with Aliquippa. We hope that just like this grew out of the ramp, that there are things that come from this. We've taken this program into a couple of the neighborhoods where going to where the bikes are. We're definitely exploring the opportunity of going to Honduras, taking the bikes there. That came to us. We were at a men's breakfast, and every time we go, we just take a bike stand and a bike and a few flyers, and someone come up to us and said, you know, I've been going to Honduras for 17 years in a row, and there would be such a need here. And so we said, so it just started that conversation in 10 minutes about let's find a shipping container and let's find some folks, and very quickly 2 people came up. I know how to ship things, and we know how to do bikes. So it's really steering. We call it connecting the dots. It's this to the next step, and we're trying not to business plan it like I would in my career, and instead say
just follow the need.
Where it goes.
I love that. And we also want to let people know, if you maybe have bikes to donate, if you are watching and you know of a child, maybe in your family or in your community, in the Aliquippa area that could benefit from this service, please get in contact with them. And also, if this is something maybe you want to start with your church or in your community as well, I know, as you mentioned, you all are happy to share kind of your plan behind this. Here's the address for it, 329 Franklin, and I think we also had a website for you and a phone number, 724-302-0466. You can call to get more information. But we appreciate what you're both doing in the community and for sharing your story with us. And hopefully someone's watching today that this will help make a difference in their summer. We'll be right back. Stay with us.